Today on TNT Big Show, the big Microsoft kerfluffle. All today on TNT Big Show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, Michelle Nantucket.
And this is Sean.
Welcome to TNT Big Show. Let's get right to the video. And Sean and I have been waiting to reply about Microsoft's big blow up because they raised the price of Game Pass Ultimate to $30 a month, $360 a year, which I tried to warn people about streaming with video games.
Well, even Michelle, it's not just, with video games and stuff. Look what happened to WWE pay-per-view events. They went from Peacock to $10 a month. Now ESPN, $30 a month.
Yeah, why not just make them pay-per-views again?
Yeah, it's just all... See, people, I'm sorry. We're just saying physical is really the way to go. Because streaming can be a catch in one way. But
yeah, it can be a catch-22 sometimes. And what we're saying is that streaming has its place, but it's not going to be for everything. And I don't think video games are going to be a place where streaming is going to thrive. Because, you know what Microsoft's going to start doing to help make more money for Game Pass? They're going to run commercials.
Well, during the game, that's right, folks. Not before the game or after the game, in the middle of the game.
Right. This is just bad news. And before, people thought Xbox was like the best deal in gaming, Game Pass. But my brother and I were warning that it was going to kill Microsoft. That and the Activision Blizzard debacle. And speaking of which, the young lady who was one of the head at the FTC, this is from Massively Overpowered, written by Chris Neal, from October 6th, she talked about, let's see, what's the young lady's name? Linda Khan. And she said, I tried to tell everybody so, but Microsoft getting Activision and them was gonna hurt. And it's true. Microsoft knows there are people that want Call of Duty so bad they'll pay anything for it. And that's why they're using it as leverage to get people to pay more for Game Pass. And I will say this, I don't care if people get mad or whatever. We're going to throw this little snark in there. The Nintendo Switch Online for $50 a year doesn't seem like such a bad deal now.
A year, $50 a year, not a month, a year.
I know you may not stream brand new releases, but the fact is, you do have at least 5 to 6 systems, I think 7 systems, that you can get catalog from, hundreds upon hundreds of free games and things like that. I actually don't think that's a bad deal.
Well, and plus DLC from Mario Kart 8, over 48 new tracks, a new total game of Animal Crossing. But I do have to correct you, Michelle. There are times when Nintendo offers some of their new titles as a free play. It's a trial, like maybe for a month or so.
Yeah.
But they do in a sensible way.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, that's still, $50 a year compared to this nonsense.
Yeah.
And Microsoft's premium service for their online is about, I think, $160 to $180 a year. This is just ridiculous.
It is.
It was just like, I think 10 years ago that Microsoft and Sony were around $60 to $80. And that was actually a good deal for a whole year. Some people are like, we just don't think the online place you should pay for it because it's free on PC. Number one, you do have to start a subscription to it.
So that's not free.
Yeah, but do you have to pay on the internet service itself?
No, but you still have to pay to get it to work on your PC.
No, what I'm saying is, though, PC gets you in other ways, like when you buy a $500 lower-end PC, it costs about $100 to make. So they're just, way up in their profits by doing things shouldn't cost that much, for so little to make, or like $400 for a $1,000 computer. That's just highway robbery. I'm sorry, but it is. But anyway, the fact is that with streaming, Microsoft and them would have to pay millions of dollars. Because think about it, how are these companies gonna make money who make these games and publish them off of streaming? I mean, Microsoft is a $1 trillion company, folks. They are a $1 trillion company. And yet, Game Pass is not doing well. They're laying off thousands of people just for degenerate AI. You guys always complain and cry about Nintendo. They're awful. No, they're not. I'm not saying Nintendo's a saint. Far from it. But awful is like Microsoft and Sony, where you have thousands of people getting laid off, always being accused of using cheap slave labor, which Nintendo put out a statement this year, but of course the God-loving video game community never even touched it because Nintendo's evil right now. But Furukawa said that Nintendo will not even associate with any company that uses slave labor. That make the production costs go up a little bit, but don't you feel better knowing that you're not paying for it? But it's just Microsoft has been the worst of them as of late. And that's kind of a surprise because it used to be Sony. But just because Nintendo is charging, like the Pro Controller is $90. It was $85, but tariffs, My God, they're evil. The Pro Controller has new technology for the analog sticks and better gyro aiming and stuff. It's more sturdy. You get your money's worth. And it's got a 40-hour battery in it.
And you also have to remember, PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S really went up in price because of the tariffs too.
Yeah.
Think it's only Nintendo?
Even the controllers and stuff are going to go up in price.
Yep.
Like I said, this is unfortunate, but this was the cause of the tariffs. This was because of all you gamers out there who wanted to blame woke culture is going to kill gaming. No, the guy you voted for is doing a good job at that.
And I want to correct my sister. Not gamers, dumbasses. There, that's the correct term.
Yeah, my bad, because gamers actually have a brain, but there are people who regret it now. Well, it's too late.
It's too late.
You should have done your research. Politics requires you to do some research and everything. You should have done it.
Because you know what? It's like the Titanic crashing into that iceberg. The boat sinking and everything. The captain looks at his first mate. I'm sorry I ran into that iceberg. Like that apology does any good.
Yeah. And now Pam Bondi and them want to do investigations on Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, it's coming. It's like Steam had to remove all A-rated content. Why? If they want to sell A-rated content, that's their business.
Yep, but people wanted them cheaper groceries.
And we didn't get those either. But anyway, back to Microsoft. Sorry, it's ticking me off, okay? But Microsoft, just bow out. You're taking one L after another. Your console sales are plummeting even further. But see, here's the thing. When Sega bowed out of the console industry, they had just came off probably their best system of all time, the Dreamcast. I mean, there were a lot of gamers, including me, that preferred the Dreamcast over the PlayStation 2 in its first couple of years because of games like Soul Calibur, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Sonic Adventures, Power Stone, Skies of Arcadia. There were lots of really good games on the Dreamcast. So when Sega went third party, there was a lot of hype and people were like, oh boy, Sega's gonna make third party games. Right now, Microsoft don't have that. They're looked at as the company that ruined Rare, canceled Perfect Dark, Silicon Knights went bankrupt under them. They canceled Everwild, a new Rare game, laid off 9,000 people, and are canceling one promising title after another. And yeah, I know former Nintendo head of marketing Ken Lobbs is now one of the head people that watches quality over at Xbox. Do you, sir, need to be fired? You and other people there need to be fired because you're not doing your job. If Everwild and Perfect Dark having problems, you should have fixed it early. That's the thing, like the rumor is that Perfect Dark was struggling in development, although it didn't look like it when I saw the trailer, but you never know what's going on. But Everwild didn't even have gameplay yet. It's up to you, Microsoft, to manage these companies. It's your job to make sure that they turn out quality games. And yes, I'm going to use Nintendo. When Nintendo saw that Bandai Namco Singapore could not get Metroid Prime 4 done, they got Retro Studios. And I know people talk about the lack of new games from Retro in the past decade, and there's been speculation of multiple canceled games, although all we really know is one that was proven, and that was Harmony. I think they have another game in development. I just think it was put on hold until the last couple of years, now that Prime 4 is almost done. But anyway, let's just say Nintendo was like, no, we're gonna let you guys just get better, then you're gonna start making games again. Because Retro was in chaos by 2011. Let's say that's what happened. Good. Now Metroid Prime 4, I know people are like, goodbye. Get real. It's gonna be a super high quality game. Game of the Year contender. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Look at Monolith Soft and how they do their games, next level games. Platinum, the only great games they do now is when they make games for Nintendo. Well, okay, Ninja Gaiden 4, never mind. But, you know...
should be for Nintendo Switch 2.
Will one day. But, you know, it's just... But that is a good game, you know. But Babylon Fall... But anyway, the fact is Nintendo knows how to manage games no matter what you think of them. Wah! Fact, not an opinion. Nintendo and their subsidiaries are the best development teams in the whole industry. There is no room for argument. The only developer that can even lay claim to come close to that is Capcom. Period. And before anybody says Sony, no. Astrobot and Ghost of Yotai are very good games, but Concord, anyone?
Yeah.
That walking disaster?
And there's another game. They said it's the new Concord.
Yeah, I know. The one from Bungie. And that's another video where they're not what they used to be. They are just not what they used to be. So Microsoft, not if, but when you go out of making consoles, there won't be as much hype as there was Sega, because Sega was coming off the high of the Dreamcast. It just came out at the worst possible time, and the Saturn happened. But you just can't seem to do anything right. And where is Call of Duty for the Switch 2?
Yeah.
You signed on to do a decade of them. So where are they?
Exactly.
You just don't know how to run you do not know how to run your developers, Microsoft. You just don't. You guys need to clean house. Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, all of them need to go. Flat out. Go. Adios. See you later. They just need to go because Microsoft is just going into a downward spiral and there seems to be no end in sight. This is me, Michelle Nantucket.
And this is Sean.
Have a good one. Thank you for staying to the end of the video and watching it. If you like all of our videos, don't you join our other social medias like TikTok, Discord, Reddit, Instagram, Thread, X, and our WordPress blog. You can also support us by joining Patreon for as little as $1 a month, where you will get exclusive content, uncut videos, behind the scenes, watch that trailer, Jack's Joke of the Week, and my sports input. If you join the $25 tier, I will send you an autographed copy of The Buzzies for free. If you love horror movies and independent content, we're a great place to come and visit because we love supporting other independent creators and stuff. When you support us, you're supporting people who do all of this by ourselves. Me, Michelle, I'm the editor, I'm the director of the videos, I'm the producer, Sean's the executive producer and content creator. So thank you everybody, and please look into supporting our Patreon, as it really does help out. Just $1 a month. Thank you and have a wonderful day.